So, what was the purpose of these sign gifts during this age? What was the actual purpose? What was the reason that they were in place at the time, Tom?
Well, I think the chief reason when you look at it, and this is a major point that I make in the book, made in the message back in 2013, is that miracles always exist to confirm the messenger. I mean, you go back, when you look at the history of the scripture, you look at the flow of biblical history, there really are only three short 60 to 70 year time periods in all of that history when men were given the power to work miracles. Now, let me just distinguish that because some have misunderstood what I'm saying. Of course, God can intervene directly and work a miracle whenever he chooses, and at times does throughout the flow of biblical history. We're not talking about that. The issue is, has God given men the capacity to work miracles? When you look at that, there really are only three time periods. You have the period of Moses, you have the period of Elijah and Elisha, and you have the time of Jesus and the apostles. And in all three of those cases, when you look at the years they ministered, you're looking at about a 60 to 70 year time span. So out of all of biblical history, that's the time period when miracle working men existed on the earth. And then you have to look at each of those times and what is said about the miracles they work. And in all three cases, in all three of those periods, it's absolutely clear the miracles were there to confirm that they were God's messenger. I think that it's clear in all three cases. And again, I'll make this point in the book, so encourage your listeners to pick it up. But I think if you go back to the very first one, if you go back to Moses, it's so clear because God says, Moses, you're going to go and you're going to be my prophet and you're going to speak for me. And Moses says, well, what if they don't believe that I'm from you? That's a valid question, right? I mean, if I'm in the camp of the children of Israel, I'm going to ask that question. Who are you and where'd you come from and how do I know? And so God said, absolutely. So I'm going to give you the capacity to work miracles. And that will confirm that you speak for me. In the context of the first miracles given to Moses, that's crystal clear. You read Exodus 4, you read the end of Exodus 6 and Exodus 7, becomes crystal clear that that was the purpose. You see the same thing with Elijah. You know, Elijah says, show God, I'm thinking of Mount Carmel now. He says, show God that I am your prophet, that you are God and I am your prophet and speak on your behalf. And the fire comes down. And then when you come to Jesus and the apostles, you see the same thing. I mean, in Acts chapter 10, Peter says Jesus was confirmed to be the messenger from God, confirmed to be the Messiah, confirmed by the miracles that he was enabled to work. And then you see the same thing with the apostles. So everywhere you find miracles, you find it confirming a person who's speaking for God, revelation from God.